welcome to another Fight of the Night review. This was the one that took place last night at the Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. And it was on the main card, it was the halfway point of the main card, and it was between Petr and Sean O'Malley. So as always, it is my job to break down round by round. This one did go the full three. And yeah, it was an interesting card to say the least. I say that as though I watched all of it. I didn't. I watched the Fight of the Night, so I should probably get to reviewing the Fight of the Night. So it starts, and as we know, Jan has some really good boxing, and he does open up with some leg kicks to set up his boxing, combinations for, I was going to say for lack of a better term, but that's probably the best term to call them. So, yeah, even though there's like some, because both guys fight with their things out a little bit, they do both suffer some eye pokes, but they're both completely fine. There's no breaks taken, and the round is allowed to go on for as long as it does, which is the full 5 minutes, obviously. And, yeah, for the most part, Jan is just getting the better of Sean. He's landing some really good strikes. He lands some amazing body kicks and some really good punches as well. And he even gets a good couple of takedowns on Sean. Sean does land quite well with some of his own strikes. He sets up with his jab quite a lot in round one, and again, also throughout the rest of the entire fight. But he's not landing as heavily. He does land a really good left at some point in round one. But yeah, round one, I give almost entirely to Jan. He outstruck Sean in a lot of areas. He was definitely mixing up more to different areas as well. He was going for the legs a lot. He went for the body quite a lot and landed a lot of really good body shots. And he got a good couple of takedowns too. I think there was a point where, yeah, he went for a takedown in round one and sort of got a clinch on Sean against the cage, and Sean tried to turn around, and Jan was able to turn around and get his back and trip him down. Sean tried to do the same thing near the end of round one, the only takedown attempt he had in the entire fight, and it didn't work for him. He shot for it. There wasn't really a lot about it. He tried to swing around and get more out of it, but he didn't. Yeah, Jan was able to counter the clinch really well, land good knees on the way out, and just land a lot of really good kicks and punches on Sean. So yeah, round one I give to Petr. We then get to round two, and very early Sean lands a hell of a left hand, sort of similar to the one they knocked out Eddie Wineland with, although that was a right hand. I know the difference between my hands. This is my left, this is my right. Duh. And yeah, he lands a really good left that knocks Petr down, and he's actually following up some really good strikes. Like, this is the most hurt I think I've ever seen Petr on. And he, yeah, Sean tries to follow up with some really good strikes, and he's just basically chasing Petr around for the first 30 seconds. But Petr does recover well. He starts utilising his head movement, which is a very underrated aspect of his game, and eventually he lands a 1-2 combo that knocks Sean down. Petr is landing some really good combos, and again, just shooting for those takedowns and getting quite a fair few of them. Although Sean's a bit more active in round two, he's landing some good body kicks. He lands some really good head kicks as well. He's starting to set those up, and that does become more of a thing in round three. Petr's countering quite well with his own hooks. He does land some really good shots on O'Malley, and I think he does get another knockdown in round two. I could be wrong, although one thing I'm not wrong about is his signature sort of takedown, where he sort of goes to push his hand out and then just brings his leg around to trip them. That's an actual takedown he gets, not one of the wrestling ones that he gets, which he does get a couple of in round two. He just goes for that pushing sort of trip takedown, and it counts as an official takedown, which I love. I love that they actually counted it. And again, he was mixing up well to the body, lands really good kicks there, legs, and kicks to the legs too. Sean, again, tried to counter some of the moves, and he was using his head movement a bit better in round two. But for the most part in round two, Petr was kind of playing it safe with his takedowns, trying to keep Sean against the cage, and succeeding in doing that. Landed some really good shots on him as well. And I gave round two to Petr. It was definitely a much more exciting round, but rounds one and two have been quite close, I would say. But I give the edge in those rounds to Petr. And yeah, obviously he wins round two for me. But Sean did do some really good work. He started to improve by this point of the fight. So I wanted to get that out of the way before we move on to the third and final round. Then we move on to the third and final round, and this is where Sean starts landing a hell of a lot more. He's landing some really good head kicks. One of them, actually no, it's not a head kick, it's a knee that he gets when he counters the takedown that cuts Petr just on the right here, just around his right temple area. So he doesn't have to worry about blood getting to this part of his face, which is a good thing. And Petr, even though he's on the back foot, in the initial goings of round three, he's eating some nasty leg kicks and head kicks too, and he goes for a takedown despite absorbing a nasty head kick, and Sean actually counters it. He actually suffers a takedown It's not one of the ones that Petr missed, and Sean did stuff a couple more besides this, but this was one of the more obvious ones. And it did look a bit out of desperation from Jan. And Jan, again, does land some really good strikes. His boxing is a lot cleaner in round 3. He's landing fewer kicks, though. And I think part of that is because Sean is just, like, tripling up on his jab so much. He fights mostly in southpaw in round 3. And he's, utilising his right jab very, very well. And keeping Petr at bay for the most part. And he's not following up with a whole lot of strikes, but he is starting to land a little bit more in terms of like his punches. He does stun Petr with a really good 1-2 combo again, but Petr counters and manages to turn around to a big looping hook that I think he does get a knockdown from. I could be a bit wrong about that. They're both men are pretty much headhunting, and it does become sort of a bit of a mad brawl at points, which I do like. But eventually, again, the action slows down with Petr going for some takedowns. There is one he gets near the end of round 3, though, where Sean is sort of trying to grab the cage, but Jason Herzog, who has always been a good ref and always been one of my favourites, so I've always thought he's underrated, had to repeatedly tell Sean to not grab the fence, which Sean kept doing for this last takedown of the fight. And even though he was sort of grabbing the fence to stop Petr from taking him down, it didn't stop him from being able to roll forward from the from being held down from last takedown. By the way, I'm not going over submission attempts because there really wasn't any. I think Sean might have tried a triangle in round 1, but yeah, there really wasn't any submission attempts at all. It was mostly just like ground pound attempts when Petr was able to get on top of Sean in rounds 1 and 2. And even then, those bits didn't last long to get that out of the way. And it's the same round 3 as well. When he does eventually get Sean down, he does try and get to a good mat position and land some good strikes. And he does sort of do that, but Sean has a really underrated ground game. He's able to get up pretty easily. I think that's part of why he was taken down so much, because he was able to get back from being taken down, but his wrestling defense, I think, needed a bit of work in this fight. Having said that, round 3, though, I also give to Petr Jan. Even though this is definitely Sean's best round, it's not like he was the only one doing work. Petr landed some really heavy-looking strikes. Heavy-loving, too, why not? Really good boxing combos, really good kicks, even though he's landing fewer of them. Sean looked good in the early going of round 3. But yeah, I definitely think Jan that I think that Jan cinched it in the end. So I give all 3 rounds to Petr Jan. So now we have to go to the results. And the overall result was Sean winning by split decision. And looking up on Wikipedia, everyone says 26 out of 26 professional MMA MMA judges and media sites and things like that, all of them gave the fight to Petr Jan, and I am fully in that wheelhouse. I don't know if I would call it a split decision win for O'Malley, or even a win for O'Malley at all. I think it should have been a split decision win to Petr Jan at the very least, mostly because of the work that Sean did in round 3. It's not like he was completely hopeless in the first 2, but it did take him a while to get to his usual stage of activity. And Petr Jan was definitely more active in rounds 1 and 2. He was definitely more powerful as well. He definitely got the bigger moments for me in terms of striking, and his takedown differential, I think that adds a lot, because he landed about half of his takedowns in this fight, and he threw about 30 and landed 6, and I'll round it up to being about 50%, which is better than the 0% takedowns that Sean landed. Sean had a total of about 2 seconds of control time. Petr had 5 minutes and 44. I'm just saying, the biggest the biggest differential was the strikes, because Sean got 69, nice, and Petr got 51. And I normally don't give a crap about that stuff, but Sean basically only won on one stat, and Petr won on the other 2. So I think Petr won the fight. As for the fight itself, I recommend you seek it out. It is a very sort of one-sided affair, and I definitely think the wrong guy won. But it was a fun fight at the end of the day. It was very entertaining, very quick. I love bantamweight fights, especially because of just how fast and violent they can be. This wasn't the most technical showcasing of a bantamweight fight, but it was a hell of a lot of fun to watch. And I like Jan and O'Malley both, and I would like to see them run this back. I just don't think O'Malley did enough to actually get the win. At the very least, I don't think it's the win he exactly needed, even though his last fight did end in a no contest because of the accidental eye poke. But shit like that happens. But yeah, neither guy really stopped pressing forward either. Even when Jan was nastily cut up on the right side of his head, he was able to still push forward and even made some nasty head kicks along the way. I might disagree with the result, but I can't disagree with this one getting fight of the night. It could be a top 10 thing. I thought it was a very fun fight for the most part, and that was the entire point. Even though, again, one-sided affair, but very fun fight. So you know, you have to balance the scale somehow. With all that being said, though, I do actually recommend that you go and find the fight for yourself. I thought it was a lot of fun. As for what's next from me, let's see. The next thing I can guarantee is on Tuesday, the return of PBW versus ABW after the absolutely bonkers show. That was cutting edge. That was such a weird and dumb and fun show. And also, I can't believe it. I've set a record for my Fed for shortest match ever. 20 seconds. God damn. Still can't believe that's the thing. And next thing after that, at some point in the week, because I'm looking to get the editing all finished, the Costume Quest 1 Let's Play. So I can't wait to get that up. That's going to be a lot of fun. And next Let's Play you'll see before will be on Friday. Well, not the actual Let's Play, because I'll start streaming and / recording on Friday, because it'll be Zone of the Enders. So yeah, that'll be for them. But yeah, the next immediate thing will be on Tuesday, and then Music of the Week on Thursday. So yeah, again, lots of stuff to do, but I'll see you all for that. As always, thank you for watching. You're awesome.